Hey, all my pop stars, welcome back. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Garet, and we're your hosts of Modern Gaze. Today, we are gooning. If you don't know the term or you haven't heard it yet, we're going to be breaking it down from its origins as a kinky slang word to how everyone's using it today. And is anyone actually gooning? Let's get into it.
Okay, but before we get into gooning,
Yes.
the reason why I said hello, all my pop stars, is because I am gooning hardcore over so many pop icons right now.
You have Tate McRae.
Katy Perry's album,
You have Sabrina Carpenter.
this new artist called Dasha. 2024 is the year for pop icons. I mean, Normani has released an epic album. Ariana Grande released an epic album. Chloe, Strawberry Lemonade, girl.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Like that album is incredible.
If you haven't listened to Chloe's new album, highly suggest if you want a good old school feel.
Yes, definitely lots of new music to goon over.
Us gays, we just know how to do stuff.
Well, what about modern gays?
That's easy. Modern gays do everything. Okay, I'm also gooning over the latest season of Salt Lake City.
That episode, the opening episode to this season, was it season 5 now?
Yeah.
It was actually just as good as the finale last year.
Oh my God, 2024 is amazing. All these pop icons, all these housewives, like, girl.
Even Orange County's doing pretty good.
Orange County's okay. I mean, Beverly Hills better step its, poo-poo up. Girl.
I don't know if it's going to be able to really deliver.
Okay.
But
well, Potomac's also coming back. Anyway, what else are you gooning over before we get into this episode?
I am so bored and I'm so flat that I need to change my energy.
You need to be gooned.
And that's why I love this idea of gooned. So this is why I brought up this concept today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's become a word that we use every day and we can use every day. And if you don't know what it means, we're going to break it down. But it comes from a very kinky subculture, sexual subculture that's happening within the queer community. And it is kind of new.
So basically, gooning refers to a state of prolonged sexual experience where an individual will get into a trance-like euphoric zone and basically,
lose themselves.
You lost yourself in that state of mind, girl.
Yeah. And then also the idea of like just making a funny, crazy face, or also like the face that you're about to make like before you climax or come or whatever.
Or have an orgasm.
And that's your goon face, right? It isn't just sexual pleasure, or it's not even the idea of climaxing or getting to a finish. You're basically getting into a state, a trance-like state, a meditative state. There's tantra sex, right? Like where you just fully...
Tantra sex?
Yeah, like it's a ways to like fully connect.
What is that?
Tantra sex?
Yeah, let's unpack tantra sex.
Oh, it's a very like sacred, mystical, ancient practice of sexual positions to reach an elevated state of nirvana, basically, as you're having sex.
Is that like Kama Sutra?
Yes, like it's similar.
I got you.
But different practice. But like with this idea of gooning, you don't even have to actually finish or come. You could be going on for days. Like you could stop and then do it again tomorrow and then do it again the next day.
You cannot. I could not go on for days.
And there's a full queer subculture built around it. There's porn built around it. I'm interested by that this is actually a thing.
Well, yeah.
So much so that it's become a pop culture thing. It's broken free from just the queer subculture.
The term gooning has increased its searches between 2023 and 2024.
So it is new.
Up to 314%.
Okay.
People are searching goon, P-O-R-N, darling. Yes. They want to see the goonedness.
So in a subculture, like in any sexual subculture, people assume that the gay subculture is your daddies, and you have your leather daddies, and you have your bears, and you have people who are into all these sexual interests and kinks, right? But this is a new kink, and it is particularly specific primarily towards a queer community, but it is technically anyone. It could be for anyone, and anyone can participate.
Well, they're basically calling it like you can go into your goon cave.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, where you will create your...
A little sex dungeon, but it's a goon cave.
But yeah, because you're in that euphoric state, you see nothing else, and that's your state of mind. You're building your goon cave. Come on inside.
So besides people who are doing this in the privacy of their goon cave, there are sex workers that are on OnlyFans and Twitter sites and Twitter or whatever that have really focused on this type of pleasure because there is a community of people who are interested and obviously searching for it. Most people wouldn't be looking for this type of thing, but they would have heard it from a drag queen like Katya or Trixie,
yes,
who are talking about it on their podcast or like tweeting it or whatever.
Where are my gooners at?
And making kind of like a ridiculous joke about it because the whole idea around gooning is like you are so fully lost that you've gone like mad and you've gone like fully ridiculous. Like it's absurd how you are into it so much, like in the moment, that the whole concept is absurd. So then to talk about it in an absurd way is still pretty relevant to, it's like not insulting. It's actually kind of like building on top of the meta meaning of it to be gooned.
Right. Well, they're also creating gooned memes.
Yes.
And people are like, there's one that says when a non-gooner says something so pornophobic that you got to hit them with the true goonical stare. You got to give them that face.
Okay. So now that we have language that has been so well defined by Gen Z and Alpha that it is reaching everyone else, right? We can't ignore the fact that this word exists, but at the same time, it is like so ridiculous. Like, how do you keep up with all of this language?
You got to keep trying new things. You got to like continue to do research and stay relevant.
So with this idea of gooning it's crossed over into a word because it's so relevant to the basic understanding of it, which is basically to be so lost in something that you love so much, right? Or so fully incapacitated by your pleasure and joy and happiness. So,
well, it sounds very Australian.
Well, why?
Goon, like you got your schooners and you got a pint and a pot and a goon.
UK, yeah.
Get a goon.
Get a goon.
And get a goon. You want to get in a goon state? Like it's very Aussie. I think some Aussie guy created it. Hey mate, you want a goon?
Hey mate, pass me a goon.
Hey mate, I'm gooning.
But it is a relatable word that has removed the sexual connotations to it now.
It's very neutral.
So now, like, let's step away from the sex, right?
Okay.
No more sex for a minute. Right?
We've gooned.
Okay. We use gagged all the time.
Right.
We're not actually like being, stronghold around our neck,
right,
gasping for air,
right,
wearing black latex in a sex dungeon.
Some people are.
But I'm just saying, like, you're gagged, you're gooped, you're fully like flabbergasted, right? You can be just so into it where it's like, oh, I was just fully gagged. I'm gagging over it.
Right. Like you're like so excited over it. Like you're drooling.
I cannot breathe because I am so excited. I am hyperventilating at Beyonce's concert.
Right.
Literally cannot contain myself with excitement that Katy Perry is performing at the AFL.
Woohoo.
Like, the only reason why I'd ever show up to the AFL, sorry, is for like a really great opening act or a hot dog.
Okay, so basically you're saying that the term gooned is like more so to refer to a state, right? Of rather than like a feeling.
Yeah, you're like in a state of so much excitement and pleasure that you're just gooning. Like I'm gooning over it.
Okay. You know when I'm gooning?
What?
I'm gooning every day at the gym.
Why?
Because like when I'm in my sets, I'm like so focused in those reps.
You are making ridiculous faces.
And my faces and everyone is grunting.
So lots of people at the gym are gooning.
We're all gooning
Everyone's
together.
Gooning. Yes, a lot of sweaty muscle.
Yeah.
Lots of guys.
Lots of testosterone.
All gooning together.
They're constantly gooning.
Anytime you're like making some stupid face and you look like fully ridiculous, that's kind of like your goon face.
Okay, how about this situation? What about when someone is enjoying their meal, right? Their dinner. And you know when you're at dinner and everyone's like usually talking, but they're not talking. They're just eating and they're quiet.
No, I think in the moment you have to like roll your eyes back and like stick your tongue out and then be like, oh my God, this is so delicious.
Okay, so maybe when you're running.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes like lots of people make like really crazy faces when they're really focused on something. Like you could be like watching a YouTube clip and like you're making a weird face because you're just so like into it.
That's me every day. I always make these weird faces.
Like, lots of people get Botox and you can't tell.
When I scrunch my face.
So if you get a lot of Botox, you can't goon.
You cannot goon.
You're not a gooner.
The only thing you can goon is with your eyes rolling back.
At least you could, but nobody else would know that you're gooning.
Oh, yeah. You can maybe like...
Not even.
Not even.
With a word like goon or gooning, which has started off super sexual, not very demure, not very mindful. It has fully transitioned into something anyone could say. Like, it has nothing to do with sex, has everything to do with just being ridiculous. So into it, it's become a word that we can just easily use to express our love for something. Some people will use it inappropriately.
Right.
When you're just like, oh, I like that. Like, oh, I goon for that. But you could, if you were really just like a full diehard fan for something and you were looking to just go full Swiftie on our ass.
Right.
Those people are gooning all the time. But does it take away this kind of common use from the actual meaning of the word? Because it's come from a subculture of people who are interested in this as part of their sexual expression, as part of their queer identity. Are we just kind of trivializing the word by saying like we can just use it in all these different ways?
But I think we use a lot of words in different ways today. Like, I think, to be honest, a lot of words in today's society have lost their meaning. These younger generations, they're creating all these new terms, right? And these new slangs and these new abbreviations that have different meanings.
Yeah.
So I think gooned or gooning can definitely be used.
Right.
I would love to incorporate it as I've been gagged, grouped, and gooned.
Would you use it while you're talking to, family members?
No, but I would like finish a Barry's class and say, oh my God, I was gooned.
You were
I would say that.
You would walk out looking like you're gooned.
You would. I walk out of every Barry's class looking like I'm been gooned for 10 days. Like, if someone wants to use it, don't yuck their yum.
Oh, I don't like ick.
I hate the term ick.
I hate when someone says, oh, my icks are.
Oh, yeah. What are your icks?
Oh, one of your icks. Oh, he just gave me the ick. I hate that word.
The term ick is my ick.
That's icky.
Like yuck.
That's icky. Yeah.
It's icy.
Yeah. So it's either be you're gooning over him or just move on.
Okay. So I think the term gooning is all well and good, love, but it can also sound a little bit addictive and a little bit.
Oh.
It could also be a little bit maybe not healthy for some people it could also maybe be a little bit addictive and not too healthy for some people to consistently be in that goon state. Especially if you're maybe trying to date or build relationships or connect deeper connections with somebody. I think maybe gooning is a little bit more self-pleasure rather than an interaction with somebody else or multiple other sexual partners.
No, anything in moderation, right? Anything in moderation.
Right. We're all about balance. It's Libra season.
Yeah.
Happy Libra season.
When something's funny, like most people are starting to say dead. Like, oh, I'm dead. Like, you've killed me. Like, I'm dead. But it's like, you're not actually dead. You can easily disassociate from the word dead, which means, okay, I'm dying of laughter. It's so funny. You can easily disassociate from gagged, where I'm like, I know I'm not actually being choked to death. Like, I'm actually just like, think that's crazy. And I'm like, so like mind blown. And then with this idea of gooning, I'm just like, how do you disassociate it from just sitting in the corner and masturbating all day?
Well, this is what I was going to say. So this is my finisher. This is how I'm going to finish the goon.
Okay.
My closing thought is sex should just be sex and pleasure should be pleasure. And I don't think that we need to have a term for every single type of feeling or experience. It can just be the experience. That is my final thought, because we cannot keep up. Like, people are going to be like, what are you into? This, that, ba-da-da.
Yeah, but it's not for you to keep up to.
Girl, I'm confused. I just want to have a sexual experience and make some love and I'm good to go.
Well, I mean, I will be transparent. I'm not a gooner, but I don't feel like I have to police the goon.
I don't think I'm a gooner.
So I'm just like, kind of like, cool, good for you. I like to know. Like, I like to know what is going on in our own community.
Yes, of course.
And in our own subcultures.
Yes.
And I think it's really fascinating. Like, it's really interesting that we all are sexual beings. We're all primal. We're human
mammals,
beings.
aren't we?
Like, we all want to,
mate,
seek happiness and pleasure and have fun. But at the same time, express ourselves and focus on our own self-love. And this kind of community of gooners are trying to navigate that.
Probably.
And they've also inspired a larger pop culture to also maybe follow suit in the, idea of it, which is like really to focus and lose yourself in this state of happiness and nirvana, right?
Yeah.
But without the sexual connotation or connection. And there's maybe like two different types of gooners. Like there's a spectrum of goon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's more than sex. Maybe the actual idea of goon and gooners yes, it was born there, but it has expanded into a wider spectrum. And now it's actually just a state of mind and a state of being.
Okay. Well, you could also lose yourself.
Right.
But you might find yourself. In the goon state.
Yourself in the goon state.
Yeah.
That is a book.
Well,
that you have not yet written.
That is my Deepak Chopra moment.
Wow.
I'm done.
That's its own podcast.
Yep. Pay me my checks.
So feeling flat and not like really energetic or super excited. Like the weeks are long. It's still cold in Australia. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I really want summer to be here. I want to be gooning over summer.
Yes.
This concept of gooning is so extreme and so like opposite of where I sometimes am at this time of year. Like it's exciting to me. That's why I like wanted to just fully attract towards that.
I love it.
And I think that with this concept of gooning, I'm gonna goon.
I'm gonna goon with you.
We're gooning now.
Let's goon.
I'm gooning.
Let's go goon.
Gooning all the time.
Goon.
All right. Well, until next week, keep building the vibrant life you want.
And gooning.
Owning your authentic self. Hey everyone, it's Daniel and Garet from Modern Gaze. You know how we're all about owning your authentic self, right? Well, we found something that's totally in line with that. It's called Homes Decor, spelled with 2 M's. Yeah, like home, but make it French and fabulous. This place is not your average home decor store. It's a vibe.
Picture this, guys. Provocative pillows that start conversations, gay vintage art that's like a time machine to the past, and futuristic drag queen portraits that are just iconic. It's all about expressing you.
And get this, they're offering free international shipping for orders over $200.
Save that money!
So you can be fabulous no matter where you are in the world.
Oh, and because we love you guys, use the code ModernGaze at checkout for a cheeky 10% off. It's like a high five from us to you.
So go ahead, make your space as vibrant as you are. Check out Homes, that's HOMMES, decor.com, and let your home tell your story.